This is a Truth Transforms Truth Nugget, a daily dose of truth for your daily transformation.
But thank God in His goodness we don't have to be there because of Jesus Christ, because of His great mercy. That is the ultimate gift. That is the good and perfect gift, ultimately, that James is talking about. The gift of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news that we must believe and that we must share with others. But God made us then to be good. And this doesn't mean that we earn His favor. It is a free gift of God, but it means that as an overflow of our love for God, there ought to be good works that come and good gifts that come and a demonstration of God's goodness to others. See, when we believe in Christ and His goodness, it should cause us to demonstrate that goodness to others. We should demonstrate the goodness of God as an overflow of our love for God. And James writes about the need to demonstrate the goodness of God at the end of verse 18. He says that God saved us of His own will and brought us forth by the word of truth, so that we should be a kind of firstfruits of His creatures. We're the firstfruits among believers. He's writing to early believers saying, you're the firstfruits because there will be many more to come. And he's saying to us, you are the firstfruits because there is the idea of a harvest, that we ought to share the gospel and there should be a harvest to come. There will be other believers to come. The idea of the first fruit, of course, in the Old Testament is that they would take the first fruits of their crops, of their possessions, and they would sacrifice it to the Lord. They would give it to the Lord. As New Covenant believers, we are to take the first fruits of our income as well and give it to the Lord. And there's an idea of a harvest. The idea of a harvest here is a spiritual harvest, that we are the first fruits among Christians and that we ought to share God's love and God's goodness with others. Now, the idea of being a kind of first fruits means that holiness matters. Being a first fruit means that we're set aside to be holy. We're set aside as sacred. So it does mean that godliness matters. And it means that we ought to be growing in Christ-likeness. And it means that when we're growing in Christ-likeness, we're demonstrating the goodness of God. When we're growing in Christ-likeness and growing in godly behavior, we are demonstrating the goodness of God to those around us. And so what that means is that individually, if there is ungodly behavior, it hurts the Christian witness. And individually, if there is ungodly Christian behavior, it hurts the witness of the church. And so we ought to be growing in godliness and growing in Christ-likeness. But we also be sharing His love with others. And we need to be sharing the goodness of God with others and demonstrating His goodness in other ways that we see fit. Many different mercy ministries that you could maybe do to help a neighbor with something, to help someone, whether it be someone who can't get out anymore, mow their lawn or do yard work or whatever it might be. Those are ways to demonstrate the goodness of God. And hopefully that can lead into sharing the goodness of God, which is the good news of Jesus Christ. We're called to be good in that way. We're called to demonstrate the goodness of God.